What's going on, guys? Gone in 60 here, back at it with another video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the support on the channel. Don't know if you guys can see, but here in Utah, there are snow on the mountains. It is cold outside, but that ain't gonna stop us from creating content for you. So today I have an awesome video I wanna share with you guys, and it's actually around launch control. And I am actually gonna show you guys, for those that have manual transmissions, how to launch your car using the launch control feature and where to access that, where to set everything up at. I know there's been videos out there about automatics. I am curious to know how many of you out there actually knew this feature is still available with a manual transmission. So I'm actually gonna show you guys how to set it up, then we're gonna bring it out on the road, and we're actually gonna use the launch control to show you guys how well it does or doesn't work. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll jump right into it. Alright guys, so I'm just going to show you how to set your launch control up, how to optimize it, and then we'll actually do a live test of it. So first, let's just kind of do a dry run and kind of practice through it. So in order to get to your launch control, obviously right down here, if you just want to quickly put on your launch control, you would hold this button in for a few seconds, and when this light comes on, you know that launch control's on. So let's just go ahead and press it. Launch control's on, and you can see right there, to launch, press clutch and quickly apply full throttle. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. But let's go ahead and just take this off. And the way you can access, we want to make sure first, before you guys ever use launch control, you want to make sure that it's set up for road conditions. You want to make sure it's set up for where you live, temperatures, the tires you have on. It totally can depend, and this feature can be kind of useless if you guys don't set it up at the right RPM for the right settings that you guys need based on where you live, based on everything that you're using for the car. So in order where you can get to adjust that, you can click on your drive modes down here. You can find it through your settings, but you want to click on this button called Race Options. And right here, this actually allows you to get into line lock. Yes, the manual transmissions, you can do line lock on them. Launch control is right here. And you can see right here, this is kind of the optimal range that they consider you having launch control at. I personally do not recommend bringing this all the way up to almost 4,500 RPM. You guys will just blow your tires off and it will do no good. Let me go back to it. I recommend, personally, you guys keeping it a lot lower, maybe even in the lowest setting. I am going to keep it for this video in the lowest setting. So you guys have a say over what RPMs the car will launch at. And then over here obviously has activate launch control, and this can turn it on as well. So you can see over here, it activated it and it said launch control activated, vehicle will launch at 2,500 RPM, follow instructions and cluster to complete launch control. So let's just go ahead and cancel that. So what that basically did is that is the exact same thing as what this is doing down there. But the first thing I would do before you guys ever use launch control is to be able to adjust the RPMs that you guys want to launch the car at. And for this video, I'm just gonna launch it at the minimal, setting. This is the only two, really these are the only places within the RPMs that you guys can launch the car at. At the high end of that, you guys better have drag radials on, because otherwise you're just gonna spin the tires. I have my stock 245s on. For this video, I am just going to put this back into auto, and to put it on street mode, let's go back in here, make sure my race options. Once you guys set this up to your RPM, it is always going to leave it at this until you guys decide to change that. But we can see down here, let's go ahead and activate launch control, and let's go ahead and talk about this really quick. So what you're going to do in order to activate the launch control is, obviously we have it set up over here, but how are you going to launch the car? Well, according to the instructions, it says to launch, press clutch So you're obviously gonna have the clutch in, you know, sitting in first, and quickly apply full throttle. So in my opinion, you're basically gonna dump the clutch. But what this isn't going to do is it's not gonna give full power to the car. It's gonna launch it at the RPMs that we set. So it will not launch it higher than 2,500 RPMs. So honestly, to launch it, all you're really gonna do is just to dump the clutch and apply full throttle. And it will launch at the RPMs that you want it to. And so that's how I understand the launch control to work and how it does, especially for manuals. If anybody else has feedback on this, let me know. I would love to be informed on it, but that's how I've understood how to use the launch control. So I'm gonna throw the GoPro on. I'm actually gonna kind of go through the settings again, and we're actually gonna launch the car and be able to show you guys how well it does. But after the video of me launching the car is concluded, that'll be the end of today's video. I appreciate all your guys' support. Obviously, please, when you're using launch control, make sure you're doing this in an area where nobody's around, where you guys can't get hurt. But make sure and be careful. These cars have a lot of power, so make sure that you're using this only sparingly. I rarely ever use my launch control, but today I'm out in the country, and we're gonna give it a go. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy this launch that we're gonna do set at 2,500 RPMs. And out here, we are going to activate launch control. Here we go.